All right. So before I start talking, is there any questions you have?
Off of the top, no, not anything outside of like what I like began probing at Sankofa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like this is one of those things where like as I go along, I will have more questions.
Okay.
So
All right. So give me like a week or two. This is what I'm gonna give you, the new revised version.
okay.
Inside the book here. Did you open your deck yet?
No, not yet.
You haven't found a cloth for it?
I wanted to ask about this one. This is the best I got as of now.
What is that?
That's right. I don't have cloth.
No. That's fine. Is that a towel?
Fine, this will do. I'll stop in Blue now and see what they might have.
No, yeah, that's fine. You know, you work with what you got until you can get what you want.
Yeah. So opening my deck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She's open. Have my sage.
Okay. So
now should I just...
Yeah, and then after you sage it, snap 3
Say
times.
that one more time?
After you sage it, snap 3 times.
Okay. Let me break this up. This layer is poor.
That's the nature of sage.
I know.
Yeah.
I like this one though.
That's white sage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know. She was like, we don't have to. She was like, I don't want her to think like I'm trying to like talk to her. You know what I'm saying?
I'm snapping 3 times.
Okay. So this is what my cards are wrapped in.
Okay.
It's a purple cloth. The reason for purple is because purple is a color of high vibration. It absorbs the most light. So it's a highly spiritual color.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at the back of one of your cards. Just pick up one of your cards on the back.
Any of them out of the deck?
They all have the same prayer on them.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at this side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The top word is repeat after me. Omoheba.
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 Tefila.
Tefila.
Om. Im. Oheba.
Oheba.
Baruch.
Karuk.
Baruch.
Baruch.
Yeah. Im. Oheba.
Oheba.
Haim.
Haim.
Om. Im,
Im,
Oheba,
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 Oheba.
Oheba.
Okay, so that's the blessing.
Okay.
So basically, Om is peace, the beginning sound of
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oheba means love.
Okay.
So peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Tefillah is meditation, our prayer. So meditate in love. Baruch, actually Tefillah is meditation. Baruch is pray in love. Haim is the day in love. So it's all about just, you're inviting love into your life. You're inviting love into the reading. You're inviting love into the situation. Because ultimately it is love that is the governing principle of the universe. The Commetans, the way in which they interpreted it is Mat, the balance, but it is love that keeps the universe going. Love, not just in like, the I love you, you're my child. It's the love that keeps the balance of the universe going. It's the love that says you need this lesson to learn and to grow. It's also the love that says this needs to be here in order to keep the balanced homeostatic state so that your system may move on. So it's love in relationship to balance. So that's what you're inviting into your life. Ultimately, in your growth and development, you're going to come to understand that that is the most powerful factor in your growth and development, is understanding that everything is happening to you because of that, because the universe loves you and wants you to grow.
Right.
So, all right. So when you do a reading, you want to keep your cards. You don't want to do the fancy stuff. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm just like,
No.
I can't even shuffle a regular deck of cards. Like,
because your card deck don't do that. That's going to ruin your cards. I've had the Medunetare cards, I've had them for 20 years. And they're in the same condition. So the shuffle is simple as this. It's a simple, because all you're trying to do is engage the energy. That's all you're doing.
Like that.
Yep.
Am I doing it right?
Yeah, you're doing it good. Yeah.
I'll get there. It'll get there.
Yes, it's very simple. Now, I'm gonna put this down so you can see the spread.
Right.
Okay. You see the cloth?
Yeah.
All right. Now you can't see the whole thing. Your cloth is not long enough.
Right. I'll get a long cloth.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get one when I go home to New York.
And then also, I'm gonna go to my brother's house and see if I can get we got purple all over the place. I'm gonna see if I can get some purple and I'll just give it to you. Okay. So I'll try to do that tomorrow. So then when you spread, the spread starts from the right.
On the right?
Spread it out, yeah. So there's all sorts of ways to do this. So I've seen people go over the deck and then wait until their hand heats up or they feel some sensation. But in truth, you're never separated from the universe at all times. The divine is a part of you. So you can even pull. And the card that you pull is going to represent the energy in the situation. So it's not difficult in that sense.
Right.
So, and that's it for that, as far as that's concerned. Now, when you want to ask a question, you can ask any question you like, honestly. But I recommend asking you want to start the question, comment on the energy governing the situation, because that's what the cards do. They're commenting on the energy in a situation. Okay. So you're not, and so then that's when you work through it. And so that's why I'm going to send, could you text me your email?
Yeah. I have, I'm just going to, yeah, I'll just, I'll text you. I'll check all of them frequently, but I'll text you this one.
Okay. Because I'm going to send you kind of a list of the readings. Not the readings, but the figures, so you can study and understand what they mean.
Right.
Yeah, literally.
Sent.
Done? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right. But start. That's a good way. Comment on the energy surrounding. You can say comment on the energy that I will experience if I go here. Comment on the energy that I will experience if I meet with this person. Comment on the energy that's gonna govern this situation. Comment on what energy I need. You can even say, "Can you hear me?"
Kind of no. I'm not sure if it's the app. I hear you. I hear you. I'm making sure that I do. It's just kind of low, and then
Oh,
there's also like background.
I'm sorry.
Not you. Let me see. I'm actually not going to grab my speaker real quick. Oh, you're right.
Okay. Please take care.
Okay, I hear you connected to the speaker. Hello? Can you hear me or no?
But can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, talk. Let me hear you say something.
Hello? Okay, but like now I hear you perfectly. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
You,
It's fine. I hear you so much louder anyway without the speaker now, which is so weird, but we'll just sit nearby.
Okay. So because this book is connected to the tree of life, and the tree of life is connected to you know what a mantra is?
I've heard of mantras. I'm not going to say I know specifically, here's the,
Understood. So the universe is sound and vibration, right?
Okay.
So you have two parts of the universe: consciousness, will, which is your spirit, your soul, so to speak, your consciousness. So that thing that is growing and gaining experience and reincarnating throughout existence. And then you have energy matter, right? So energy matter typically tends to be everything else. Now, energy matter is vibration. So when you break it down at its basic level, we understand that all things in existence is vibration. If everything that vibrates has a sound. And so now this is based upon the Eastern Indian conception of how to work with the metaphysical aspects of the universe. So we're talking about the Africans that were over in India a long time ago. And so then certain sounds elicit certain responses and certain actions within the body and within nature itself. And so I say all that to say, you can even say in the book, say you did a reading and you pulled a card. So you wanted to say, what energy do I need to manifest in order to be successful in this situation, right? And we pulled this card, crumbling structure, right? So the name is crumbling structure, but the energy that's governing it is an energy related to the sun. And so in order for you to be successful in this situation, this is telling you to manifest this type of energy. And so you would chant a certain word of power that would bring this. So the energy of the sun, this is like Everything is glorious. Things are happening for you. Your light is shining over everything. And so you manifest more of that energy within you. It's Shango type of energy. If you understand African religions, it's Shango, it's the Heru type of energy. More like Asar, Nefertum type of energy, where the divine essence is just, all you have to do is walk out and everything is going to be successful for you. But in order to kind of manifest that energy more, you would chant Terim. And so that would help bring out that like warrior divine essence within you. Not necessarily warrior, but it's a warrior to an extent that you're trying to establish something. It has to deal with the will and manifesting. But anyway, so these are the different things you can do with the Oracle deck. So.
Okay. So I pulled out this card while we were going through.
Okay. Good.
And so I remember you explaining how this one, well, is it, okay, do these three symbols here, they represent something different with each card?
Correct.
Okay.
So, what was your question? Did you have a question, or were you just?
It was more or less like a question, because I remember we were going over, what is this, the protest card, and you were saying the one like aligned in the middle is like the path that you're choosing, and everything around it is supporting you going towards that way. So like how, that's what I'm trying to figure out, like how do I explain each individual card? Like I know you said you were gonna send me the
right. Give me one moment and I'll actually pull it up so I can show you.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
Take your time. No rush.
All right. I'm pulling up the book so I can share it with you.
This is a good card, by the way.
Yes, it is. It's a very good card.
I'm reading. I'm like,
yeah. What's going on? Open it up. Open it up. Here we go. All right. So you on the screen you should see. You see the book. Okay.
Okay.
So. All right. So the card that you pulled, the bottom figure, there's 3 figures, right? That bottom figure is what's called the judge of the situation.
Okay.
There's only 8 of those. Okay? So that figure is called Sekper.
Okay.
Right? It means game.
Okay.
And so when you pull that figure, Sekper, you would go to the front of the book and you would look for Sekper. Which triad is that? There should be a number on it.
62nd triad.
Right. So you see 57 through 64th triad.
Right. So the booklet is basically organized with each triad.
Correct.
Okay.
And
this makes sense.
And I call it a triad because of the 3 figures.
Right.
So then you would go and you see that that's on between pages 274 to 285.
Right.
We just go through there.
Wow.
My brothers helped me understand that part. I didn't do that on my own.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I saw.
You said Building Brilliance was yours, right?
Brilliant Horizon.
Brilliant Horizon, okay. So, this is your card.
Okay.
So, this is what's on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The commentary is what's on the card.
Right.
Now, the top 2. So, the the figure that has 2 dots up top, 2 single dots in the middle, 2 dots at the bottom, that's called Shema. It means union, right?
Okay.
The other figure is Nefertum. That means like Nefertum was a deity that was the son of 2 goddesses, and so it's kind of like he is he is like a Sar. He's a divine deity. Everything, when you see a Nefertum in your reading, that means that life is easing up and everything is going to is opening up for you. The universe is opening up for you in order for you to manifest your will very easily. So when you do this, when you get this card, now the issue, so for thousands of years, this system has been written out, right? At another point, we'll go more in depth. I know you have to go soon. But you could tell if you go to Africa, when they do this system in the sand or when they do it on the ground, you'll be able to tell clearly what energy was in the past and what energy is in the future, right? So the top 2 figures represent the past and the future of a situation.
Okay.
The bottom figure represents what will be the result of the situation. Right. So in this instance, what we have then is the coming together of forces in order to bring forth a will that will help manifest a will that will build up something. You see, you combine that. So whenever you have then the way the book is configured, I don't know. Well, the book will tell you if something is either in the past. If it's in the past, it's the right witness, the RW, this here. In the future, it's the left witness. But because it's pulling a card, the commentary is there are forces that are coming together in order to manifest the will that will build up the situation. That's what Sekper represents. Sekper represents gain, building. Something is growing. Sekper typically is a positive figure. That means you're adding on to whatever's happening. It's going to help you in your situation. Or it could be negative if you're talking about losing weight because you're going to gain. So that's just a nuance of the figure. But when you get the book, you can read what it means. But it's better if you know the individual figures because this is kind of generic. Right. And then so for yourself, like you would know what forces are coming together, if you were doing the reading in your own life in order to help you move forward. And you would know what this is building up for you, because you know all of the energies associated with it. All Oracle decks really do is lay out the energy that is dominant in the situation. Right. So you know exactly what it's going to comment on. That's why E5 is laid out in poems. An E5 priest knows poems. And when you go get an E5 reading, they see the figure, then they recite the poem. And then the poem, there's some line in the poem that identifies with your situation. And then there's sacrifices that they do in order to bring about, if you want some sort of, result from the reading. Down here, though, if you wanted to get a result of the reading, I don't give a sacrifice, I give kind of a meditation. So this is called a planetary mantra. You would chant the planetary mantra, and you would do a mixture of cypress, lemon, and cedarwood oil. And that would help you manifest that energy. Okay. Cypress is cypress oil is for Nefertum, or the Sekper. Lemon is for Shema, and cedarwood is for Nefertum. I'll tell you all later. Okay. That's in the book. So there's oils, there's incense, there's mantras that go along with each of the cards.
Duly noted. This is a great first run. It makes sense. This is definitely something that, and I felt like it too, that I would be committing a lot of time to in order for it to just come naturally. Because it comes naturally anyway, but in order for it to just not seem like something that I have to remember and for it to just flow.
What you do have to remember is the 16 figures.
Right. Which we will learn in our class on Sunday.
The 16 figures, you can get the oils, the incense, all of that is extra.
Right.
The mantras are good if you want to really help, because people, like even for yourself, if you want to influence a situation, the mantras are good to know. But in order to do the system itself, just the pure system, you need to know the 16 figures. Once you know the 16 figures, then you can see how things play themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Another aspect that to make you aware, okay, pick out a card.
Wow, that's actually so crazy, bitch.
Wow, what is going on with this? All right. So look at the bottom of the card. You see two readings there. You'll see on one side a reading called Gaining Union. Like you'll see, well, on this card, there's Gaining Union and then Growing Foundation, right?
Mine says Thoughtful Joy, and then the other side said Losing Force.
Okay. That means that once you know the cards, these are also energies at play in the situation.
Right.
So crumbling structure, something is going down. This one, there's some loss that's occurring here. You know, there's something that's losing its energy. But that's good because there's going to be a growth and another foundation is being built. So as you learn the system, these two, you'll understand these two readings here are indicated in this major reading here.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I've learned by just doing the system over and over.
Right.
All the connections. So you'll see that later. Don't just worry about the 16 figures.
Right. This card is Blazing Glory. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, I know Blazing Glory. That you have to be careful about though.
Right.
Because that figure is represented. There's a figure in that card that represents Mars. You know, and whenever you have a Martian energy, Mars is more warrior, battle. It doesn't care about balance and structure. It just comes and rolls through. It's like a boulder rolling down a hill. It just rolls on through with its energy, and it doesn't care if it hurts or if it builds. You got to be careful with that one. If you get that as a reading, you know.
Right.
So, okay. I know there's a ton of other questions. And you have to, if I'm not clear, ask me, and I'll try to clear it up.
Okay.
All right.
Peace. Thank you.
No problem, sister. All right. Peace.
I'll speak to you soon.